Welcome to another episode of the Sports Bros Podcast, featuring the almighty B Live, the money man Scottie D, and your host, the head of creative, Eddy Kool. The Sports Bros Podcast is a sports podcast that's by the fans, for the fans, talking sports just the way you like it. And without any further ado, let's give it up for the Sports Bros. I'm back! Well, you know what? We are back as well, too. Cam Newton is not the only one back. The Sports Bros are back. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to episode number 131 of the Sports Bros Podcast. I go by the name of Eddy Kool, a.k.a. the HOC up in this thing, the head of creative. And like I said before, this is another episode of the Sports Bros Podcast. So much to talk about. I'm not going to be rambling too much. I'm going to introduce not one, but two of the best co-hosts in the world. Introducing first, the almighty B Live.
What's happening? What's going on in the world today? Can you feel the energy? It completely changes the franchise. He's back.
Nobody knows what you're talking about. Be specific. Tell the listeners what you're talking about.
They know exactly what I'm talking about.
No, they don't. Tell them
MVP.
Okay, they still don't know.
We'll talk. We'll talk about it in the show. This is the introduction piece, and you're already showing your true colors, other guy. We'll get to you in just a moment. This is my introduction. Jesus. Got to go through this every week. You just won't let me speak. You just won't let me live.
Go ahead, keep on going.
Don't kill my vibe.
Tell them about the camp. Tell them about the camp thing. Go ahead.
This is an introduction. We'll get to that in a moment. But can you feel it? Oh, I got my swagger back. But you know what? We weren't the only team that got our swagger back. And the other guy, go ahead and introduce him because I'm pretty sure he's feeling himself too. You know what I'm saying? What a difference a week makes. But yeah. Go ahead, talk to the other guy, All right with it.
All right, and the other guy, like he's doing a TikTok dance. Wait a minute, none other than the one, the only, the money man, Scottie D. Scott, do that dance again.
I'm walking on sunshine. Well, and don't it feel good? Yes, sir, baby. The boys are back. You're right. Dallas Cowboys righted the ship this week. Oh, man. That Denver thing. Rear view mirror. Time to put in full gear and let's go.
Yep. It was the fail cons. Don't get that excited. The fail cons.
I'm excited.
I'm excited too because whenever the fail cons lose, I smile. So
I'm gonna go ahead and get this. I'm gonna go ahead and get this out of the way.
Okay.
This was the best weekend ever. Clemson won. South Carolina lost.
Where's the mute button?
The Panthers won. The Aints, the Falcons, and the Bucks all lose. And my Braves are still the World Series champions. KVP is back. Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? Can you dig it? Yes, sir.
Somebody likes himself this week. All right, let's talk some sports.
Tell them, be live, and rightfully so. You should. All your teams won except that little pop shot with the with the Gamecocks losing, but yeah, it's all good. You can't have everything, but sometimes success comes at a sacrifice.
Yes, you can. I got everything this week.
Anyways, like I was saying, moving right along, episode 131 of the Sports Bros Podcast, week 10. That's right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 weeks into the NFL season. There was a lot going on. Last week was crazy, but there's been some kind of a bounce back and kind of rebound this week. But then again, things have been kind of wonky as well, too. All right, folks, so here we go. It's time for me to ask some questions, all right? The first question is, what team had the most painful loss and what team had the most impressive win this week? Scottie D, what say you?
Well, I'll eliminate two teams from both questions right now, and that's the Lions and Steelers. That game was comedy. It was comedy. I was sad when it ended because the Cowboy game, it was out of hand. You know, that was a lousy fourth quarter to watch because it was a blow. I mean, obviously I was happy, but I switched over to see something a little bit more competitive, and I watched the fourth quarter and overtime of the Steelers-Lions. What a show these guys were putting on. You had fumbles and snaps overhead and fumbles back and interceptions and penalties. It was glorious. So those two teams do not apply to this answer because we're asking for best win and worst loss, correct? That's what we're talking about here.
You're correct. And as they say, Scottie D, a tie is the equivalent to kissing your sister.
That's what they say. I always thought that was a rather gross analogy, but anyway, I think you know there's a lot of teams last week. We were talking about was like the big upset weekend, and those teams, some of those teams, Packers, Cowboys, Bills, kind of righted the ship a little bit this week. But I think the biggest one for me was the Kansas City Chiefs, and that's because I've been saying all year, where are the real Chiefs? They're terrible, but they're looking bad, but. And this week we saw the Chiefs that we were used to seeing. Unfortunately for me, it happened a week before the Cowboys are going to Kansas City. So that puts a little bit of, I actually think if the Chiefs will beat the Cowboys next week. If they look like that like we saw Sunday night.
Oh,
they're beating the Cowboys.
Don't do that. Do not start making excuses already. The game hasn't even happened yet.
It's not an excuse.
You're already bowing out. Jesus, like, you know, yeah, Kansas City. It's just better. Man, I'm
saying they looked pretty darn good for their team that went to the Super Bowl the last 2 years. That's who they looked like on Sunday. And to me, that could be them getting back on track.
I'm gonna tell you this. No, you're wrong. There wasn't Kansas City looking that good. It was the Raiders looking that bad.
Nevertheless, they put up a big number on them. Yeah,
that defense was non-existent. That team was I don't know. But yes, I agree with you that was a very significant win for Kansas City. That's coming. That's the momentum changer.
Right, exactly. If Kansas City goes on and makes a deep playoff run, they'll look back at this game as a turning point of the season. We're like, we flipped the switch finally. We're starting to get back into our groove. Now, I hope I'm wrong, and I hope the Cowboys go in there and beat them 49-3 or whatever as well this weekend. I don't see that happening, but this is the Kansas City Chiefs team I've been waiting for all season long, pretty much. And so I think that was a big win for them, not just to win because they beat Green Bay last week, but it was 13-7 with the backup quarterback. That's not a big win. A division win for Kansas City, and they look like themselves, and they probably are feeling like themselves this week. I'm going to say that was the biggest win for a team this week, and probably the worst loss. I'm going to go to the Cleveland Browns because they just came off of a big win last week against the Bengals, and then they go and they not only lost, but lost terrible. They lost a terrible game against another team in a similar path, the Patriots, same record going in, and the Patriots blew the doors off of them. And I, at this point, am giving up on the fact that Baker Mayfield is the future quarterback for that team. I think that ship has sailed. It's sailed. If you can't win that kind of game, or at least be competitive in that kind of game, maybe the Cleveland Browns will say, how can we get Russell Wilson on our team next year? Because we need a quarterback, and the rest of the team is looking pretty good. And Russell Wilson, although I thought he looked pretty terrible, excuse me, but he's coming off a layoff in a tough environment in Green Bay. But that's who I'm going with. Worst loss this week, I think, was for the Browns, and Casey getting back on track. Pretty big deal for them. How about you, B-Live? What say you on that topic?
I will agree with you with Kansas City. I had Kansas City in my notes, but also the most important win, also easily when it comes to momentum changers, game changers. I'm wearing the jersey, baby. The Carolina Panthers going into Arizona, 8-1, the best record in the NFL. Granted, Kyler Murray's hurt. Y'all know DeAndre Hopkins. But just the energy. Like I said, I spoke of this before. The franchise has its swagger back. And we've seen what happens when the Carolina Panthers have that swagger. I heard this on one of them sports shows, and it made a lot of sense to me. Cam Newton may just be made for one franchise. He just may be the glove fits. He's just meant to be at Carolina. And those that have our mental capacities of us love him. There's a select group of people, there's a select group of fans that say that they're Carolina Panther fans that don't like Cam Newton. Get over yourself. I don't even want to call you what I want to call you on the air when those that don't like Cam Newton. I'm gonna leave it at that.
I don't like him.
You're not a fan. You're not a Panther fan.
I am not. But to your point, though, I don't think maybe he helped elevate the energy, but him coming back isn't as important as Christian McCaffrey coming back, because that dude carried that team on Sunday in Arizona. What do you have, 10 catches and then another almost 100 yards on the ground or so?
I'm still over here looking at the fact that Robbie Anderson has hands again. Dude, where's this been at? Looking like I was like, where's this Robbie Anderson? This is the Robbie Anderson. This is who you supposed to be, Robbie Anderson.
This is what we paid for. This is what we paid for.
Man. But you can just tell literally the vibe of the team. They were gelling. They were moving the ball. It was just a beautiful thing to see in action against arguably the best team in the NFL. Granted, their offense took some injury hits, and I think J.J. Watt's any out for the season.
Yeah, he's done for the season. He's done
for the season. But there's still, their defense is still nothing to laugh about. So for us to be able to move the ball the way we did, and P.J. Walker started the game. Cam Newton only had a couple of plays. P.J. Walker was the starter, and for us to out 31-10.
This might have been addition by subtraction. Sam Darnold. Yeah, Sam Darnold I thought was a good pickup for Carolina. I said it more than once. I thought he was a good pickup. And now I hear on ESPN radio, they're like, we might be having to apologize to Adam Gase because Sam Darnold might be that bad.
Here's the thing. I'm gonna say this.
Hold on. Adam Gase is still Adam Gase. We not.
That's true. You're right.
I am not letting him off the hook. No.
It was. They were joking about it too. It was a joke. Here's
the thing. Well. I'm gonna say this. I don't think Sam Darnold is that bad, but it's just a certain fit. It's a certain fit. Some players like it. You could see Sam Darnold when he had his moments. He looked halfway decent, but then he's starting to see ghosts again, and then you can see where the chemistry wasn't there anymore. So I don't take.
But we could say the same. We could say the same for Baker Mayfield. Similar quarterback, maybe just good at times, but not consistently good.
Very much so, and you got to be consistent in this league. But yeah, that was the most important win. The most painful loss. This one, I want y'all to feel this as much. I thoroughly enjoyed this loss, by the way. But the greatest of all time, losing 2 straight to backup quarterbacks. Tampa Bay is going in the wrong direction, and I'm here for it. But man, this ain't the Super Bowl champion Buccaneers right now. Yes, they have the injury bug as well, but I don't know. The past couple games, Tom Brady has showed his age. Had 2 interceptions within his first 3 or 4 passes.
Yeah,
it was what's going on? What happened? Get it together. I don't want you to do better because Panthers. Just saying. And I'm already looking at December 26th, Tom Brady versus Cam Newton. Cam Newton is 2-0 against Brady. And the way that the trajectory is going, one team is rising, the other is falling. And it's a tight race. Panthers are 5-5 right now. Tampa Bay 6-3. They're going in different directions. We shall see. But yeah, Tampa Bay, that some's got to give. Maybe with I don't know how long Antonio Brown's gonna be out. I don't know how long Rob Gronkowski is going to be out. Chris Godwin he did play, but he wasn't 100%. So I don't know. We'll see. Eddy, kool. What say you?
All right, so what say me? My turn. Okay, so here we go. I'll go backwards. The most important win was the Buffalo Bills getting back on track by beating the New York Jets. Think about it. It was 6-9. They lost 6-9 to the doggone Jacksonville Jaguars.
Yeah, that's a bad one.
Yeah. And that's a very bad one. I don't know what happened. That game was totally off, but it's good to see the Bills finally get back on track because they beat the brakes off the Jets 45-17 because they were averaging
Jets though.
But hey man,
they should have won last week. To his point.
Yeah, they should have won last week because if you're a high-powered offense scoring 30+ points a game and you got a good defense, I understand things happen. All right, things happen, and they should have beat Jacksonville. But guess what? They didn't. Just like last week, Carolina Panthers should have beat the Patriots, but things happened and they didn't. And just like the Bengals should have played the Browns closer last week, and they did not. So it's finally good to see Josh Allen looking back to normal. He passed for 366, 2 touchdowns, 1 interception. The running game was doing pretty decent, and him throwing the ball all over the place. And yeah, Stephon Diggs showed up. He had 8 grabs for 62 yards, and 1 touchdown as well too. So that was a good win for the Bills. It gets them back on track because from the looks of it, B-Live and Scottie D, the Patriots seem to be nipping at the heels slowly but surely at the Buffalo Bills in the AFC East. And I remember one of my coworkers said, "Hey man, I won't be surprised if the Patriots win the division." I thought he was crazy, but after seeing what I saw over this next game I'm about to tell you all about, the Patriots, they thump the Cleveland Browns. It's a bad loss for Cleveland, but also a good loss. I mean, a good win for the Patriots. The reason it's a bad loss for Cleveland is because you showed last week that you didn't need Odell. You didn't need Odell. Hell, I was there. I watched the game. I watched all 4 quarters, and Baker looked smooth. He looked consistent. He had no problems. Real smooth. And then this week, it happens, and they lost to the Patriots. And Ramondre Stevenson, a great fancy pickup, by the way, he ran for 100 yards and scored 2 touchdowns. And it seems like the Browns didn't have any answer for the Patriots. And when it comes to the Patriots, man, you might have to slide them into that wild card mix. I wouldn't say the division mix, but you might have to slide them in that wild card mix because Mac Jones is playing some good football. The defense is doing what it does, and you got Bill Belichick at the helm.
Hey, Eddy, kool. I hate to interrupt. I'm gonna stir the pot.
Okay.
I'm gonna stir the pot. Tom Brady won the Super Bowl with the Buccaneers last year.
It's not gonna happen. It's not gonna happen.
You don't know where I'm going with this. Let me finish.
Okay, go ahead.
Because the reason why he ended up in Tampa Bay was because Bill Belichick was like, I need to move to younger, but et cetera, et cetera. Would the Patriots have drafted Mac Jones if Tom Brady was still there?
Nope.
And now Bill Belichick is only sitting a half a game behind Tom Brady and the Buccaneers. The Patriots might be building another dynasty.
They're not. No, they're not.
He said, "Wait a minute, don't do it."
I'm just saying. Here's the thing. I'm gonna say this real quick. I hated the fact that everybody crowned Mac Jones at the beginning of the season. Said he was the next big thing, the next Tom Brady, blah 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 blah. I'm still not there, but they got something going on. And this week was that momentum. And this is something that's so beautiful about this moment, this time of the season. This is the halfway point. It's really about to go down. You're about to see some moving and some shaking. And man, so yeah, I'm stirring the pot. I think Bill Belichick might have been on to something. Yes, Tom Brady, you got you one more ring. But how many more years do you have? And were you, at the end of the day, were you holding the franchise? I don't know. He got 6. He's got 7. Go, et cetera, blah, blah, blah. But now they're on to they got a new shiny vehicle in New England. And Tampa Bay's trending in the wrong direction.
Yep, we got two teams going two different directions. All right, fellas. All right, now it's time to introduce another segment called Good, Better, or Best. We'll tell you a team each that we think is good. Then we'll also tell you about another team that we thought was better than expected. And then we'll tell you the best team in the league. All right, we each have our own. And so I'll go first with my good. All right. Good team, despite losing to the Vikings 27-20, I'll say the LA Chargers. Reason being because this is the first full season that we're seeing Justin Herbert like having the job, a full training camp, and he has a chance to absorb the playbook and do what he does best. He has playmakers in Keenan Allen and Austin Eckler. Eckler can run, he can run the ball pretty effective. He can catch the ball as well too. And the defense, they have Derwin James, and the defense is pretty good as well too. I still think at this point in time in the season that the Chargers, they still can contend for the AFC West. Right, they still can contend for the AFC West. Scottie D, who you got for your good team?
Well, just to kind of continue what we've been saying, what we were talking about whenever we were coming up with this segment was teams that are good, teams I think that are legitimately good right now that I did not expect to be good, and that is the New England Patriots. They are legitimately good. Their defense is good. And I think what we overlook sometimes talking about them, because we always talk about Belichick, is the continuity of Josh McDaniels bringing along this young quarterback. They're not asking Mac Jones to be Tom Brady. They're just bringing him along and asking him to do what they know he can do based on what they see in practice and on film. So New England isn't just getting lucky and beating, getting a couple, meaningless wins here. They're back in, back in playoff contention. I mean, they're a legit threat to the Bills in that division. Kind of funny to say the Patriots are legitimately a threat to the Bills to win that division when the Patriots have won that division every year for the last 70 years and the Bills have been terrible. So yeah, but the Patriots, I when I see them with my eyes, and even when they played the Cowboys a few weeks ago and the Cowboys came out of there with that overtime win, I saw the Cowboys playing a really good team that day. So the Patriots are legitimately good, and I hate saying that, but they're good.
Scottie D, this is one of those rare moments in history that we agree. It's and I'm going to say it. It's the Patriots. The Patriots are a team. I didn't expect them to be. I thought it was going to be a little bit of growing pains. It's going to take a couple of years for Mac Jones to get into the flow of things and everything. But that team has balance.
We thought that'd be better than last year, but not necessarily where they are.
They're in contention. They're in contention, and I'm telling you, a few little things here and there. You can't not say that the Patriots might not contend for the Super Bowl. The way that the AFC is right now, the way that nobody really wants to take over the AFC,
it is up in the air.
The Patriots easily could be up there. They're a half game back in the division. I mean, there's like two teams that have a better record, and the three teams: the Bills, the Ravens, and the Tennessee Titans. That's it. They have the fourth best record. They're tied with Kansas City for the fourth best record in the AFC. Did you expect that at the beginning of the season? Absolutely not. Patriots, surprisingly good. Hey, I still don't like the Patriots at all. 2003, it's just
Robert Kraft. You're still in the penalty box, I believe, right?
Yes, absolutely. Without question, they ain't never get out. You will still be in the penalty box to your grave, old bastard. All right, Eddy, kool, Amtrak.
Self-censorship. Shout out to the Almighty be like for censoring himself. Fellas, now we move on to the next part of the question. Better. I'm going to say the team we just talked about, the New England Patriots. Pretty much for everything that you guys just mentioned, they're a better team. Reason being because they're better than they're better this year than they were last year. Like you can see it. I actually had a chance to sit down and watch the game. Classic Bill Belichick, and the coaching scheme on the defense and offense. You know, you guys said Josh McDaniels too. I wish Josh McDaniels would wear a fitted hat instead of a visor. He looks like he's 12, but that's neither here nor there. Annoys me. But anyways, that's the only thing that really annoys me about the Patriots is that grown man wearing a visor in November, and it's cold.
Didn't Spurrier used to do that when he was with the Gamecocks?
Yeah, but see, that was warm weather. That's warm weather.
Okay.
Yeah, warm weather. Yeah, you look real odd. Yeah, him and Doug Peterson, they're being oddballs wearing visors in cold weather.
Fair enough. Like, Doug Peterson, okay.
Look, fair enough. What was the meme? Somebody shared a picture of Doug Peterson and said, "Yeah, Doug Peterson looks like Myrtle Beach." But anyways, that's neither here nor there. The Patriots are a better team because they're better. You know, they're better this year than they were last year. It's still the next man up philosophy. Mac Jones is balling. He's not making any mistakes, and Patriots are still solid on defense. Ramondre Stevenson, like I said, he ran for 100 yards and 2 touchdowns. The Patriots look good, and like I said, they could be nipping on the heels of the Buffalo Bills. When I first heard, I'm like, they're not going to do that. But looking at their body of work so far this season, they got some pretty good quality wins, man. And so don't be surprised if we see the Patriots in the thick of things. Scottie D, your better team.
Well, the team that I'm going with, I was considering going anyway, but based on the last 2 weeks, is the Tennessee Titans, because I thought they'd be good, but I didn't expect them to be as good as they are. And then they lose Derrick Henry and then go win 2 quality games against Indianapolis. And they were they on the road against the Saints this week? I believe they can't remember if they were. It doesn't matter. They won without their best player, who I thought when he went down, that was going to be the end of the Tennessee Titans in the playoff conversation. I was not believing in Tannehill, but I'm believing in their coaching staff now as much as anything, because they're what, 7-2? Is that what their record is?
7-2.
They're 8-2.
Oh, I'm sorry, 8-2. Correction, 8-2.
Okay, there we go. And I mean, they're just maybe a couple wins away from, even if they do fade off, still getting into the postseason. And if they do and get Derrick Henry back in January, they're legit. They're legit, you know. So they're better than I was expecting them to be. They're coming into the season. I can't remember if I picked them to win the division, but I remember being big on the Colts early because I thought the Colts were very good last year. Wasn't sure if Carson Wentz. I didn't think he was an upgrade from Phillip Rivers, but I thought the Colts were still going to be pretty good in that division. But Tennessee looks like legit, even without Derrick Henry. B-Live, did I take your answer on that one too?
Yes, you did. Get out of my notes. That's how I knew their record that quickly, because they were in my notes. Tennessee, bruh. I said at the beginning of the season, you know, when they picked up like when they picked up Julio Jones, I thought they were going to be legit contenders. Then Julio gets hurt. Then Derrick Henry gets hurt. And what do? Tennessee Titans? They just keep winning. They keep winning. Now the true test, mark it in your calendars. November 28th, the Tennessee Titans do travel on the road to Foxborough.
Ooh.
Tennessee versus the Patriots that we're talking about. That's going to be a huge game. I have a feeling.
If that game was tomorrow, who are you taking that game?
If that game is tomorrow, boy, good question.
I would take New England.
I would as well.
Yeah,
but
me
the thing
too.
about it is, Tennessee's defense has a way of disrupting your flow. And so that's one of those things. They're leaning on their defense. They say, all right, Tannehill is a game controller. He's a game manager. He's not going to win the game for you. He's going to keep you out of trouble just enough. And you cause a mistake on the other side of the ball, boom, 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 boom. There you go. But yeah, Tennessee Titans, we all thought, and we wrote them off. They just keep winning.
I know I did. I wrote them smooth off.
So, Tennessee, keep doing your thing. Better
give Vrabel credit, right?
Hey.
And he's going home to face Belichick.
Yeah.
That'll be interesting. Very much.
Yep.
How about you, Eddy? Cool.
All right, so where we at now? We're at the
better. Who's better? Who's better than you thought they would be?
Oh, the better. Team? I told about the Patriots.
Yeah, he mentioned the Patriots.
That's right.
Now, Eddy, cool. Who do you think is the best team? At the end of the day, expectations aside, who's the best team in the NFL right now?
The best team in the NFL right now, despite them taking a loss and not having some key players on offense and defense, I'm still going to say the Arizona Cardinals. I'm still going to say the Arizona Cardinals because, as you say, B-Live, the defense, be it who's there, who's not there, you can't really sleep on the defense. And once everybody gets back, watch out. Watch out. Once Kyler gets back, watch out. Once DeAndre Hopkins get back, watch out. I still think that the Cardinals are the best team in the league because, as we said earlier, balance. They have a balance. They have a balance on offense and defense. They can beat you either on the ground or in the air. I think James Conner has 10 touchdowns. Five of them come
Boy, he
from
looks good.
Yeah.
He looks good this year.
Yeah, 5 of them come from in the red zone. So he's really getting it done. So that's what they a position they really needed help at running back. They got it, and James Conner's still doing his thing. And then you got Chase Edmonds whenever he's healthy. He can be, he can run and catch the ball as well too. And Connor's a change of pace running back. Also, them going out and getting Zach Ertz as well too. That was another important piece for them to do as a team to make them go forward to be even better. So that way teams just can't key in on DeAndre Hopkins. They also have to worry about Christian Kirk and now Zach Ertz, who would still catch the ball because a lot of people wrote him off as well too. So I'm going to say the Arizona Cardinals, best team in the league. Scottie D, who you got?
No.
I'm going to let B-Live. I'm going to let you go because I think we're going to say the same team.
Okay,
we're going to say the same team.
Okay, let B-Live go.
Were you just in my head because I was literally going to interrupt you. I was like, I'm going to go first.
I'm deferring. I was going to defer because I think we're going to say the same team. So I'm going to let you go first. Tell me the team that I'm going to say. Go ahead.
Oh God, dude! I hope you should be feeling yourself. The best team in the NFL right now is the Cowboys. They're the Cowboys. Yeah.
Oh, wait a minute.
I said that. Yes, I said that. The best team in the NFL right now is the Dallas Cowboys. They have the most balance. They're the most balanced team in the NFL right now. They finally have a defense that matches right along their offense. I think they have the tools to win it all. Now, will they do it? Will they do it? That's the Cowboys. Wow. I asked Scottie D this question a couple weeks ago, and I'm still staying by it. I think if the Cowboys don't win the Super Bowl this year, the season is a bust. I think that they have the talent on both sides of the ball. They're the best team in the NFL right now. I think I'm also doing this as a double-edged sword because if I build them this high and they fall on the wayside, I'm just still equally just as happy. But that's just me because I'm equal opportunity hater over here. This B-boy, yes, sir. All right, Scottie D. Did I blow your mind? Did I shock you with that one?
Yes, you did. Because my pick is the Rams.
Okay.
I still think I thought that in preseason. Remember, I picked them to win the Super Bowl, and I think that they have. I mean, they're. I think they're 8-2 as well. Well, actually, we don't know what happened Monday Night Football yet at this point. They're playing San Francisco Monday Night Football, but they're winning, and I think they're actually still trying to figure it out. I think they're still growing together with Matt Stafford and Sean McVay. And they had a major setback this week when Robert Woods tore his ACL, but just in the nick of time, they signed Odell Beckham. And a week earlier, they add Von Miller to an already stout defense. I think their defense is superior to the Cowboys' defense. I know the Cowboys are getting the defense is getting a lot of attention. And watching them closely week in and week out, they are way better than they were last year. But I still think that they have problems sometimes getting off the field. On third down, they give up a lot of first downs. I just think the Rams have a superior front line when it comes to, getting to the quarterback and stopping the run. And I think offensively, they have the best mind. I think McVay is still the best coach, the sharpest mind when it comes to directing an offensive attack. And he clearly had Jared Goff's number because he shipped him out and he's doing, He got a tie this week, but he wanted a quarterback that could throw the ball down the field consistently like Matt Stafford can do. And I still think the Rams have a slight edge on the Cowboys for the best team. How about that? We all three picked a different best team. I like it.
Yep.
I'm going to give you the reason why. The Rams are still high to me, but they couldn't beat the Titans without their number one offensive weapon. That's where it just sort of
but kind of goes back to, like I said last week, when the Cowboys got the doors blown off them last week with Denver, I said, I'm not going to get too excited about that. I'm just going to say that was a bad day. Like I said, some days you hit 3 home runs, some days you strike out 3 times. You know, the NFL is like that. The dudes they're playing are getting paid too, you know? So I heard this on ESPN radio the other day too. A guy brought, I can't remember who said it. It brought an interesting point, but the teams in the NFL this year that are kind of bad teams are better than past bad teams. Mm-hmm. Like the Jaguars are good enough to beat the Bills. The Broncos are good enough to blow out Dallas. You know, there's still, it's the difference between a good team and bad team on any given Sunday. It's not surprising to me as much as it would be in previous seasons. So I'm going Rams, guys.
All right, going Rams.
We want to quickly just do a team that disappointed us. Just went around the horn real quick one time.
The Dolphins.
Dolphins, good pick. I'm going with the Browns. B-Live, how about you?
I wasn't ready. Honestly, I'm the Steelers.
Yeah.
It's the Steelers. That a tie.
With Detroit, really? Yeah.
With Detroit, yeah. To Detroit, of all people, Detroit, the team that will not go 0-17 this year, Detroit. Wow. Ain't that something? 0-16-1. But I know
could happen.
Oh my God, it could happen. That's crazy.
Good.
That's crazy. We've seen how many teams in our lifetime? Anyways, that's neither here nor there. But guess what's coming up next? The B-Live Top 5 coming at you right now. And now, the B-Live Top 5. Take it away, B-Live.
Oh, yes, sir. You know this is my time to shine. Let's get it. Let's go ahead and get right into the thick of things, man. College football is exactly where it's at right now. Excitement. The games become larger and larger every single week. And so, without further ado, because the College Football Committee tripping, they sponsored by Nike. So that's why, but I'm not sponsored by Nike. So that team still is not going to make my top 5. Let's go ahead and start with number 5. All this team has done, you know, slowly but surely, just sitting behind the scenes of everybody. They just keep winning. They may not have the biggest pedigree, but I can tell you one thing that they're going to do. Their last game of the season, they're going to show the College Football Committee what should have done, what should have happened when Oregon played them. But Notre Dame has Stanford as their last game of the season, and I have Notre Dame at my number 5. Their only loss is to Cincinnati.
Really?
And they've been doing they've been doing what they're supposed to do. They keep winning games. The only thing I think that's really going to hurt them at the end of it all, to say it all, is the fact that they're not playing a conference championship. That 13th game would easily possibly elevate them to that status of making the college football playoff this year, just the way everything is orchestrated. But when it comes to one-loss teams, they're still one of the better teams. Their strength of schedule is still better than the aforementioned Nike-sponsored team with 500 different uniforms. But I said what I said. Oh, Ducks, you're not getting in my top 5. Everybody else has to lose before you get in my top 5. Number 4, come on, please. Just do what you need to do. Cincinnati, just keep winning. Keep winning. I think we're at the position point of time right now. Cincinnati wins out, they're in. Just win out. They win out, they're in. I believe that the committee's going to put them in number 5 this week. Let's have that feeling. Because for whatever reason, they still have Oregon up there, whatever, and Oregon still hasn't lost yet. Some got to give. Come on. I just don't understand. It
Didn't
is what it is.
Didn't Oregon beat Ohio State early in the year though?
Yes, they did.
That's their signature win. Okay, that's what. Okay,
But their signature loss. The Cardinal. Like I didn't even check their record. I just know it's either 3 and something or 4 and something. Either way, they still have a losing record.
Okay.
And they have the weakest strength of schedule out of all the teams, like in the top 10. In FBS, I think the only teams that has one loss that has weaker strength of schedule is like Fresno State, San Diego State, and Coastal Carolina. They're the only ones that have weaker schedules. So out of the Power 5 teams, they have the weakest schedule out of all the Power 5 teams that have one loss. That's my gripe against Oregon. Number 3, man, oh man, they look good this past week. And I have to give it to them, even though my disdain for them is still through the roof, because the pompous, arrogant D, Ohio State University, the Buckeyes, I have them at number 3. I still think that Michigan beats them at the end of the year, but right now they still sit as the best team in the Big Ten.
I'm holding you to that.
I've said it, and just to let you know, since this past week, I now have a $20 bet. I ain't betting my own money that Michigan will beat Ohio State. Lindsay Arnett, love you, but I need my coin. I'm gonna need that money. $20. Jim Harbaugh, my money's on the line right now. you better perform. That's all I got to say. I work hard for my money.
Isn't he 0-6 against Ohio State?
Yeah,
I think like it's not good.
It's over. It's over a whole lot.
I think. Well, I want to say like 0-8. It
ain't good. Either way, it's not good.
But get it together. Do better. You got to do better in big time. Hey, you beat Penn State. That was I almost wrote you off with that one, but you beat them. Thank you.
That was a big win.
So he still has the worst record all time against AP top 25 teams on the road. Worst record all time, top 25
really?
AP road. Yeah. He's now 3-8 against teams that are ranked in the AP top 25 on the road.
I would have never thought that going in that would happen to him. But anyway, go ahead.
Hey,
go ahead.
But yeah, get it. Hey, my money. I need my money. Number 2. I mean, that too much ain't changed. It's the Crimson Tide, Roll Tide, Alabama. They still like. I see a couple things where they can be exposed, but I still think they're the second best team in the country. But what's going to happen, if it does happen, if it may not, I can't completely guarantee, but I can tell you who the number 1 team, and it's again still a far stretch, because them Bulldogs at number 1, Tennessee gave them some trouble for 1 quarter.
Yeah.
For 1 quarter, Tennessee I was like, oh, we got a game. And then it wasn't a game.
Not so fast. Yeah.
I was over here. I was like, oh, shoot. I'm watching the game. I'm like, oh, good. Oh, I get it.
No, I was the same. Yeah. Same. I was the same. I was like, man, maybe they might get tested this week. But nobody's testing them because they're too good. They are just so good.
They're really good.
Their defense. They could just draft them as the defense next year. The first pick in the draft, the Houston Texans take the Georgia defense. That could be, they could be good enough to go the whole team, the unit together.
You do realize that the Houston Texans aren't going to have the number 1 draft pick, right?
Well, I don't know. Detroit gets a win, and they finish with a win and a tie, and Houston finishes with 1 win and 16 losses. Houston could get it, or they could leapfrog into that number 1 spot.
Yeah, that's true.
But yeah, that right there, Oregon's not getting in. And I'll talk about Oregon a little bit later in this show. But yeah, they're not getting in my top 5. They're not doing it until everybody above them, the teams that are in my top 5, they have to lose or like 2 of them at least. before I put Oregon in there. I said what I said.
And I'm guessing you got Pitt probably sitting at about number 6 or 7. If I was,
I do not. No. You can
primetime win on Thursday night. Primetime win. Big.
How about that?
Big win under the lights.
I'm gonna take that back. Scottie D, I'm gonna do you a favor. I'm considering putting Pitt into my top 5 with financial consideration, just like Oregon and the Pac-12 paid off the college football committee, playoff committee. If I will send you my Cash App, you put some money in my bank account, I'll put Pitt in the top 5. Because that's how it works,
Caroline,
right?
Let's go, Pitt.
See, we just had a good beginning of the show, and there you go with your shenanigans again. Like I was actually chilling out the other day, and I played my argument for all the strength of schedule and everything from last week's episode, and then here comes Scottie D with his ridiculous Pitt declaration, and my dude that was listening with me, he was like, "What is wrong with them?" I said, "A lot."
Good times never seem so good. Go Pitt! Go Pitt! Go Pitt!
Good.
Golly. Oh, it felt good to sing that song this past week. Carolina, MVP. Is there? Fellas, what you think? Am I off the rails? Should I give Oregon a chance?
I think you should let Oregon in.
Why?
Because they beat the number 3 team in your ranking, Ohio State, and they beat them soundly.
Well,
but like you said, or be like to your argument, that L, that nasty little L, that flying around them, that stinker, that turd of Sanford is the only thing. I'm sorry, Stanford, unless you're Florida, Sanford. That's the only thing that I can see why you would keep Oregon out of the top 5, because they have that ugly loss against Stanford.
Here's the thing. I'm gonna do you one solid, because the college football playoff committee did it. It's an L. It's still an L. They're a one-loss team. Let's take out who they are and what their record is. Just throw that out. I'm okay with not mentioning that Stanford sucks. I'm still standing on the fact that one of their biggest arguments in the college football playoff is strength of schedule. It ain't just Stanford that's holding Oregon, that should be holding Oregon back. It's the entire Pac-12. Just like no team in the ACC has any consideration right now. The reason why Notre Dame isn't higher in the rankings, because they play 5 ACC teams each year. That's the reason why their strength of schedule is not as high, but it's still higher than Oregon's. So what?
I actually think Michigan State should be probably higher than Oregon, to be honest with you.
Because here's the one thing: Purdue, their losses. Purdue is. I think. The fact that they beat Iowa and Michigan State. But that's what I'm saying. I would agree with you. I think Michigan should still be higher than Oregon. I'm just saying.
Yeah, man, but what kind of nonsense is this committee putting out where they put Michigan ahead of Michigan State just because they think they're better, even though head to head we got a different result a week ago? That to me made no sense. They have Oregon ranked ahead of Ohio State because they beat them, but just a couple spots higher, they have Michigan ahead of Michigan State, even though they lost to them head to head only a week and a half before that. I don't know, but we're going to learn a lot this weekend because Michigan State is at Ohio State this weekend. Man, I wish that game was at Michigan State and not at the shoe. But so Ohio State's got 2 big tests to finish out the season, both against Michigan teams. So it looks like your list could hinge on that too. If Michigan State knocks Ohio State out, they'll probably slide down.
Well, and here's the thing. Again, my list is not predicated on what's going to happen or what's about to happen.
Right.
What's happened. It is your resume, and it's which is not what you've done for me lately. It's what you've done the entire season. Mm-hmm. I don't like the way the committee does the past few years. BCS was not BCS. BCS uses a lot of computer things, but it also used the coaches rankings where they are real big on what have you done for me lately. You lose in week 11, 12, or 13, you might as well just count yourself out of the game, bro.
Yeah.
Even though you put together the most amazing season, you lose against still a high-ranked team at the end of the season, they kick your butt out of there. And I'm like, wait a minute, hold up. Look at the entire body of work. Don't look at week 13 bigger than you do week 2. Don't do that. Why? Why would you do that? That's a flaw.
Well,
that is a big flaw.
That's what you just dropped that one right into my lap. You just gave me that one. You just gave that one to me.
Oh God, I felt it. I felt it when I said
you gave that one to me. Yes, I
know.
You
go
put
ahead.
it on a T.
Go ahead.
Right there on the T for me.
Say something about a 12-team playoff. Go ahead.
Well, it's just if they're gonna do that and hold that kind of early season stuff to no consequence, maybe you ought to have a little bit of playoff, a little expansion of the playoff, and give more teams opportunity.
And I'm a proponent for expanding the playoff to 8 teams. 100%. 8 teams, 12 is too much. We've had this conversation. Yes, this year especially, it should be 8 teams. It really should be 2 because Georgia's just Georgia.
Yeah, it's Georgia. And
you put Georgia against anybody outside of really Alabama.
I think this year I would crown Georgia and then have a tournament for everybody else to see who's the second best team in the country. That's how I would do it this year.
What I'm gonna tell you exactly what probably was going to happen too is that Georgia is going to beat themselves in the SEC championship game, which is going to put Alabama and Georgia into the playoff.
I don't think so. I think their defense is just too good. I think they could have a bad day offensively, and their defense is still just that good. Where
I wonder. There's a game. There's a game that just off the top of my head that reminds me of that the offense was terrible. The offense only scored 3 points, but their defense scored a freaking pick 6. Oh, I wonder what game that was. Yeah. All in, all roads lead to Dabble. Yes, sir.
I'm about to say, yeah, they played Clemson. Yeah, I remember that. They played Clemson. I remember that. Yeah, I remember that. They played Clemson.
Man, pick 6. That was just a battle of the bulls. And our offense still hasn't gotten it together, man. We were okay. I'm just real quick. Clemson was 5 for 22 on third downs against UConn.
Bubble screen, back shoulder fade,
slant.
Freaking. And what was the other one? Bubble screen, back shoulder fade,
and rinse, repeat, dive.
Yeah.
QB option with same 5 for 22 for third down. We ran a field goal fake in for a touchdown with the coach's son. Where did they do that at? We were 5 for 6 on fourth down conversions. Why are we going for it on fourth down against UConn?
I had UConn getting 41 points in that game, and they covered.
You know what?
Because they ran back the opening kickoff. That's the only reason they even covered.
At least you weren't Dan Mullen in Florida.
Whew. That dude's seat is blazing.
Okay, you know what? I'm glad you brought that up because whose seat is hotter? Dan Mullen in Florida or Steve Sarkisian in Texas?
Oh, boy. Woo.
Florida. That Florida seat's already been burnt to a crisp.
Texas lost to Kansas.
Yeah, that could be the end of that too. Yeah.
Kansas.
Yeah.
The team that almost beat Oklahoma.
Man, what is going on in the world today? Like, bruh, what happened?
And then Pitt beat North Carolina.
and that in the relevance. I did bring up Clemson, so that's cool.
Just wanted to recap that.
And South Carolina blew the brakes off of Florida and then couldn't handle Mizzou. And now
what the hell?
The Coops Tiger Tour begins. They have the Missouri Tigers, then they have the Auburn Tigers, and then they have the Clemson Tigers. And they start this Tiger Tour off with an L.
Well, I tell you what, your Tigers look real beatable this year.
Yeah, very, very much so.
They look real beatable. In the other years, I've been like, but I'm over here like, yeah, y'all looking real beatable this year. Y'all looking real.
Remember that time when we all went to the game together?
What was that? We went to North Myrtle Beach and we recorded at Sound Up Now Studios, and that was a very nice time together. That was 3 of us together. That was a real nice time. Oh man! Shout out to Sean McKenna. Appreciate you bringing us in a couple years ago. That was in the infancy of the Sports Bros podcast. And look at us now, baby. Gotta love it very much so, man.
Where it began, I can't begin to know it, but then I know it's going strong. All right, Eddie, Amtrak us. Be Live, good job with the top 5. I do like your top 5, and I'm holding you to the Michigan Ohio State thing in 2 weeks.
I promise you, if Michigan, if Jim Harbaugh calls me to lose money, I'm coming for his head.
All right.
He got to go.
All right, good. I don't know what you got to beat your rival. You got to. You shouldn't even have a job if you can't beat your rival. But either way, anyways, that's neither here nor there. But fellas, guess what time it is?
What time is it? What time? What's going on with it? What's happening?
Oh, I'm glad you asked. It is the return of our favorite portion of the show, the choices of the voices. And yes, Scottie D did post a question. And with that being said, hey, yo, button, hit it. We'll be right back.
And now, our favorite part of the show, the choices of the voices.
Once again, thank you to the wonderful and ever so loving Miss Button for introducing our favorite portion of the show. You guessed it, and you heard it. It's back after the 1 week hiatus. The choices of the voices segment, where we pose a question to you, and you give us your response. We talk about it, and then we also give our replies to the question as well too. With that being said, Scottie D, what's the question for this week's choices of the voices?
Okay, so sorry I didn't post it last week or the week before prior, but I did get back on track here and asked the question of these 4 young quarterbacks, which one would you rather have? Which guy would you take? And the 4 quarterbacks that we gave you a choice of were Trevor Lawrence, Joe Burrow, Justin Herbert, or Mac Jones. 4 all potential studs, could be a crop of the future. Who would you rather have? We had some good answers here, Eddie. Cool.
Yeah, we got some good answers. All right, first off, Tom, winner, chicken dinner. Tom Wynn, he says, at this moment, probably Herbert. Long-term success, hard to tell. Measured by individual stats or team success is another question you asked. And he gave us a great example. Dan Marino had great stats, but no Super Bowl. Versus, for example, Bart Starr with lesser stats, but 2 Super Bowls. He really put some thought into this one. So
Tom Wynn said all that. Wow.
Yeah, he said all that.
I'll sneak in one even better than Bart Starr. Terry Bradshaw. 4.
Yeah.
I mean, nothing against him and his quarterback skills, but
he was a league MVP at one point.
Yeah. We shall see, because that speaks volumes.
Yeah.
Until this past year, really, that when Tom Brady won his 7th, there was still a conversation between him and Joe Montana on who was the greatest of all time. It's now solidified that it is Tom Brady. But yeah, that was a legit conversation, because we all thought that, and on top of that, I still think that Peyton Manning is a better quarterback than Tom Brady. Tom Brady had the better system, better fit. I mean, Peyton Manning's more methodical, think tank, et cetera, but cool. So Tom Wynn, hey, I appreciate the questions having us thinking about it. I like it.
Yep. All right, moving right along. We got a Hall of Famer. Welcome back, Uncle Max, man. He wasn't with us for a while. Wonder what was going on with him, but from the looks of it, the Mac is back. All right. Uncle Max, a Hall of Famer himself, he says the Big Mac Attack, going with Mac Jones from his alma mater of the University of Alabama. Roll damn Tide.
Yeah, big surprise there.
What was that a homer pick?
Yeah.
Was that a homer pick? I think that was a homer pick.
Homer no Simpson, baby. Homer no Simpson.
But I mean, go back and listen to the conversation we had earlier in the show, and we were, heaping praise down on the whole situation with the Patriots. He's the guy that's driving the car, so you got to give him credit.
Yeah, I'll do that. I'll allow it.
Yeah, gotta give him credit, man. Hey, like you say, gotta give credit where credit is due. All right. Friend to the show, JR Speaks. He says Justin Herbert. So that's 2 for the second-year pro and the City of Angels. 2 for Justin Herbert. All right. Moving right along, we got the best name in the game, Joe Comfort. And he says, based on individual talent alone, my money's on Joe Burrow. He's got all the tools to be successful, but it will be a matter of putting the right pieces in the huddle with him.
Yeah, they're building towards that. I mean, they gave him some weapons this year.
And we see. I'm gonna tell you this: the jury's still out, because a lot of people attribute Joe Burrow's success and his ability to that magical 1 year that LSU had. And now we look at the weapons that LSU had that year. Freaking ballers. Justin Jefferson's still doing this thing, and I mean, like Jamar Chase, like that team was built for immediate success. Mm-hmm. I'm not taking anything away from his talent level, but yeah, I don't know. We will see. I think the jury's still out with Joe Burrow, but there's nothing wrong with that answer. Absolutely not at all.
Got to get him a line, man. They gotta invest in offensive lineman, man. Yeah, you can't get a quarterback of that caliber killed week in and week out. All right.
I'm gonna jug real quick because LSU won the championship, had that magical season 2 years ago, and all their fans were just up. They were like, "Oh yeah, we're gonna keep this train going, and we're gonna da." They turn around and go 5-5 next year. This year, Coach O doesn't have a job after this year's over. So jug. My Clemson Tigers, we're down a little bit this year, but we're definitely not 5-5 down like LSU is. I say what I say. All right, cool. I apologize. I got off track.
All right, back at it again. We got Matty Ice, Martin Tracy. He said, Jones, baby, going to the Super Bowl this year. Just got done pounding the Panthers and just beat Herbert last week.
All right, see, so what we're not going to do is come at us like that. Yes.
It's disrespectful. Highly disrespectful.
It's just highly unnecessary.
Very
unnecessary.
Yeah.
Highly unnecessary.
Very.
That's okay. You didn't have to throw that jug in there, baby. I just jugged that Joe Burrow and LSU, but that's me because I'm petty. But Matty Ice, hey, congratulations, and hey. The Patriots are trending in the right direction. But we shall see who will have the better season at the end of the day because y'all couldn't do nothing with them. We got our boy back. Dab on him. Yes, sir.
He had to come back on. Oh. What'd you say, Scott?
Oh, boy.
All right. All right, so here we go. We got Craig Burns. He says, Mac Jones. Coaching is kind of important to a rookie quarterback. So that's 1, 2, 3 for Mac Jones if we're keeping count, 2 for Justin Herbert, and 1 for Joe Burrow.
Am I going to be the bad person when I say who would you like to choose as your franchise quarterback? Like, all right, so I mean, if you're the franchise, you'd have to choose the coach. See, this is where we slip into. Is he the better quarterback, or right now does he have the best coach?
True.
So I don't know. I just read the question. I mean, maybe I was wrong, but I do that.
Thanks. All right. And the legend himself,
Here we go.
Dizzle. Don't appreciate what you said on my post about Cam Newton. See, here's the deal, Trey Dizzle. Sometimes you just can't say what's on your mind all the time. Just I'll get into that later. I'm gonna get to it right now. The thing about that, here it is, Trey Dizzle. When I made that post about Cam Newton, about making the most of your second chances, you want to bring up stats. You bring up stats about everything. Tony Romo is a loser. Okay, you hate that Prescott. We understand that. But see, Trey Dizzle, I'm going to need you to stay between the lines, all right? And just the message. When you get a second chance, make the most of it. You come to the stats, well, he was 3 for 23. The boat is sailed, the train is passed, and that 747 went over your head. Pay attention to the message you just did, because you Trey Dizzle. That's what you do. All right, so here we go. He said they will be all better than Dak Prescott. I don't know why this man hit his quarterback. You first place in your division. Anyways, that I can be certain. Prescott is in his 6th year as a starter, and he still looks like a rookie idiot every time we play a defense that's not ranked in the bottom 15 of the league. Trevor Lawrence reminds me of Peyton Manning when he was young, so that's why I would want if all things were equal. He said Trevor Lawrence. Okay. I would definitely trade this garbage bum, Dak Prescott, right now because he has a football IQ over 7.
Here's another. Did you see further down where he says Mac Jones looks good and he would trade Dak's sorry ass for him in a heartbeat?
I don't know.
I like the way he posted this, and then because he posted his answer, and then Dallas just does what it did against Atlanta. So I mean,
it doesn't matter. You know what? It doesn't matter. He doesn't. Right. He doesn't care because they lost last week. So winning this week doesn't mean anything because they lost last week. He wants all the quarterbacks for the Cowboys to go undefeated and have a 109 quarterback rating or whatever the hell it is. I don't know, but you can't talk to him. You just can't.
Oh, the fan base has voted you out, Trey Dizzle. You're the weakest link. Goodbye. Yeah. All right. Because you're stuck with him and his $160 million contract with $127 million guaranteed. So that at the end of the day, at some point in time, you have to get over it. Just like the Carolina Panthers fans that don't like Cam Newton, guess what? Get over it.
Yeah.
He's back. Yes, sir.
I was
crying out loud. You guys, B-Love, you realize he did get cut at one point, right?
Yeah. He was wrong. They did him wrong, dirty.
By two teams. Two teams cut him. Two teams cut him. Okay. I just wanted you to remember that.
I know. I'm well aware of what's going on, and this is going to be my rebuttal for that. This might shock you, Scottie D. This year right here alone, win, lose, draw, indifference, I'm okay because I didn't have the highest of expectations for Carolina.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't have high expectations. One thing I can say and do right now, though, is that we have talent on the team, and now we have charisma and style. You know what? I'm having fun.
Yeah, that was a nice costumey word of the game the other day. That was.
I didn't even see
very charismatic. Very charismatic style.
Why are people so concerned about his wardrobe?
You just brought up charisma and style, and
I'm talking about on the field. I'm talking about
on the field. They all wear the same thing. They wear the same thing.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is episode number 131 of the Sports Bros podcast. I think this is argument number 97 between the Almighty B Live and
I'm saying, like, what do you want? What does these people that have such disdain for Cam Newton, what do you want from the man?
He wants Cam to come in there with a pair of khaki pants.
Care.
Wait, hold on. Can we rewind? Say that again. Say that again, Scottie D.
I didn't get to finish. I don't care as long as he's not on my team. That was where I was.
So you don't care as long as he's not on your team,
right?
But you're the one that mentioned his wardrobe.
Yeah.
So what if Eddy Kool, did you see his wardrobe?
He had on a white blazer, which was dope. He had on
I didn't see what he was wearing. I'm a fan. And I'm a fan.
Yeah, he had a big,
I'm a fan.
He had a big
let's go back to the brass tacks though.
He came in with a big hat like it was from 1845.
It was a rhetorical question.
I really don't care. The shoe,
thing about it is, when I tell you I don't care about what I really don't care what he's wearing.
But on the field, he tries to exactly like the guys next to him. Look just like him.
But for somebody that doesn't care about somebody, how did you know? Why were you concerned about what he was wearing?
I'll give us something.
Watching TV, they show it on pregame.
I'll give us something for all you to care about. Shout out to Tom, Uncle Max, JR, Joe Comfort, Matty Ice, Craig Burns, and Trey Dizzle, Dak Hater #1 for their contribution to this week's Choices of the Voices. See what we take 1 week off, man, it just goes off.
Kind of dumb question was that?
With that being said,
I don't care, but I saw what he was wearing because he was on TV.
Scottie D, everything's on TV. And who you picking out of the 4 quarterbacks? Who you got?
You know what else is on TV? Top Gun, and I saw that too. So not everybody on this panel has.
That was off-air discussion.
Okay.
The very idea you didn't see Top Gun.
See, the thing about it is, there's certain things that we talk about off the air. Now you airing out dirty laundry. Is this how we're going to do things today? Okay, all right. I see how we're going to do things. Mm-hmm.
My pick.
Mm-hmm. Dak just threw another pick.
My pick is Joe Burrow.
Okay.
I think Joe Burrow has the most, the best chance to win the most. I think now maybe Mac Jones in the Belichick system may have he might flourish. They could win more games. I'm surprised that more people haven't gone with Trevor Lawrence. I think Joe Burrow is the better of those two, and Justin Herbert to me seems like a big muscular heavyweight fighter that goes in and loses to a more skilled heavyweight, if that makes any sense to me. Just there's something about Herbert I can't put my finger on that worries me a little bit as a fan of his. I think he looks great. I think he's a really good quarterback, but there's just something about him that makes me feel like in a pressure situation he may not be the guy I would want. Whereas Joe Burrow, I think I still think the Bengals really need to invest in their offensive line for this guy and let him flourish. They got him a couple good receiving weapons, and I just think they need to keep him on his feet, keep him protected, keep him comfortable, and I think he'll flourish. How about you, B-Live?
All right. I want to take this moment to all the people that participated in did this and last week's Choices of the Voices. I appreciate it. I know. That's what I'm saying. They participate 2 weeks in a row because we missed a week. But I want to take this moment of time to I thank everyone for their answers, and I love the fact that maybe there was a couple people. I think one person maybe actually read the question, because if you were starting a franchise, who would be the quarterback that you would want to lead your franchise? That was the question, right? If you're on a franchise, right? So it ain't about the New England Patriots. It ain't about the Cincinnati Bengals. It's not about the Los Angeles Chargers. And it's not about the Jacksonville Jaguars. Why are y'all bringing that up? Why are you bringing up Bill Belichick? Why
they play for those teams?
No. See, y'all missed the question. You made the question, Scott, and you still got it wrong. If you had a franchise, my franchise right now would be called the B-Live Profits. That's my franchise. Okay. And out of these 4 quarterbacks, which one would I want to lead my franchise? At the end of the day, the most talented quarterback out of the 4, he's in a bad system, so he does not look like he's the best. But at the end of the day, he's still my boy. And it still might be a homer pick. But at the end of the day, all roads lead to Dabo and my boy Trevor Lawrence. I think he has all the intangibles. He can make throws that other players cannot make. He has actually speed that I didn't even know about until I saw it on display against Ohio State a couple of years ago. he has all the things that you would want out of a quarterback. I'm not looking at the product.
So is Joe Burrow.
Joe Burrow. I think Trevor Lawrence is better than Joe Burrow. I think Joe Burrow.
Fair enough.
I think Joe Burrow benefited from that, just the amount of talent that LSU had that 1 year, and that's what
we're not talking about LSU.
But exactly. But this is my point. Again, this is why I say that Trevor Lawrence is better. A lot of people like to say Joe Burrow is better because Joe Burrow beat Trevor Lawrence. I think Trevor Lawrence is more talented. That's why I made that reference. Stick with me. Pay attention. Do you understand?
Go ahead. I thought you were done, but go ahead. I just woke back up. Go ahead.
Oh, okay.
Oh, wow.
But yeah.
Oh, wow.
Go ahead. I'm listening.
That's all right. I'll tell you what. That's why my answer is Trevor Lawrence. Because I think he is the most skilled, the most talented out of those four players.
Wait. Your team's named the Be Live Prophets?
The Be Live Prophets. Yes. And the reason why on Friday I mentioned it to you, I actually do team trivia at Patty's Irish Bar and Lounge here in Fayetteville, North Carolina. They've done a beautiful job renovating since the pandemic. It's beautiful in there. We do team trivia on Friday.
I sure hope they don't ask any questions about Top Gun or New Jack City.
Yeah, there's a lot of stuff. They finally had a sports topic, and I aced that. I just didn't know about Troy Apke. I'm still upset about that. I will never forget his name from now on. But yes,
he's the Caucasian cornerback, correct?
Yes, the only one that's been in the league starting cornerback in 19 years.
Damn.
So yeah. So that was a question. But yes, my nickname on the team, on our trivia team, is the Prophet. So, and there's I got a biblical question right as the final question. Bonus, we won because of my ingenuity. I actually didn't forget certain parts about the Bible.
The real head over there, because he got a lot of head. There's a lot of information over there. So yeah.
But yeah, I really only know sports though. I just realized that the other people on the team, they're much smarter than me. I think I've lost more brain cells than anything, but it's all good. That's the reason for my team. Need to hear no there, but there you go. Little backstory about me. Yes, sir.
They're not gonna call him Goose or Maverick for sure.
Wow, Eddy, cool. Amtrak, please.
All right, so my quarterback that I'm selecting, I'm gonna have to go with Joe Burrow too, because I saw that, Scott. I think Joe Burrow has a lot of upside. The thing is, they surrounded him with a lot of talent. T. Higgins, Tyler Boyd, and Jamar Chase, who could easily win Rookie of the Year unless Mac Jones has something to say about it. You still have to put. Did you see Cincinnati? Take note of what the Browns just did. Okay, they freed up some money and they were able to re-sign key linemen. That's why the Browns can have a top 10 rushing attack year in and year out. So what you need to do, Cincinnati, is find you some linemen that can block and not get Joe Burrow killed. The reason why we haven't seen the max potential of Joe Burrow is because 3 steps, there's Clown in his face. 3 steps, there's Garrett in his face. Another 3 steps, TJ Watt in his face. And, another 5 steps, Pernell McPhee in his face. That's if he still plays. But anyways, Patrick Queen in his face. So it's just, you got to, it's an investment. You got, number one overall, Cincinnati, you have got to protect Joe Burrow. Because Joe Burrow can take you places. And in a division like that, you need as much out of your quarterback as you can. Your running game, pretty solid. Can't lie. You got Joe Mixon-Dixon, as B-Live likes to call him. But, Cincinnati, you have got to protect Joe Burrow. Joe Burrow has a lot of talent. I was going to say Justin Herbert, but I've seen Joe Burrow not really at his best. Like you said, Scottie D, we all have that bad game. One game you hit a home run, 3 of them, and the next time you strike out 3 times. So, we haven't seen the best of Joe Burrow. I think Joe Burrow has more to come, but Cincinnati, get this man a line. Get him a line, please. You got to get him a line. Yep, you have got to get Joe Burrow in LINE offense.
I agree.
Yeah.
You got to. All right, fellas, we got all our picks in.
That's it, man.
Yeah.
The long-awaited 2 weeks we waited to get to that topic. So I tried to build the drama up to it, and there it is.
And it was well worth the wait. With that being said, Scottie D, what's on tap for next week's choices of the voices?
Well, next week, as we record, we will be going right into Thanksgiving. So I am going to ask you to give us one of your best Thanksgiving football-related memories, whether it's a game you watched on TV, or maybe something happened to you sitting around with the family watching football, or maybe you had a pick six in the turkey bowl down on the road in the neighborhood, whatever. Just one of your best Thanksgiving football memories. Or if something stands out in your mind that was terrible, like perhaps you watched Leon Lett kick the ball in the snow and it made you toss up your mashed potatoes. You can mention that. Whatever. But we ask you for your memories, Thanksgiving football memories. That Eddy Kool will give us something to talk about next week as we go into Turkey Day.
I'm looking at B-Live. You look at it. Okay. All right. Okay.
Spoiler alert. I can do it.
I'm going to change the topic.
Hey, you know what? Think about this. B-Live could have that answer because I know where he's going. But me, I can go to a different way, a totally different way.
I'm gonna let you know off rip. You know what my answer is gonna be.
Exactly. And Scottie D, I'll change mine. I have no problem changing mine, none whatsoever.
I sure didn't think this through very well.
At all.
That's okay.
No, you didn't. Right. No, you did. You weren't thinking about us. You were thinking about our listeners. That's what it's all about. Yeah. Our listeners ain't about us, but I guarantee you my answer is going to involve all three of us.
This is about to be funny. Ladies and gentlemen.
You're going to bring up one of the worst Thanksgivings of my life.
Yes, I am.
Ladies and gentlemen, tune in next week for a special gobble gobble Turkey Day edition of the Choices of the Voices. Wait a minute. Damn, wait a minute. I'm over here acting like I can't dance. But anyways, yeah. Carolina Panthers, keep pounding, baby. It is what it is. Come back next week for another edition of the Choices of the Voices. See, Scottie D learned the TikTok dance. Yeah, I'm putting this on. Yes, I'm putting this on YouTube. Come back next week. Choices of the Voices.
Okay, boys, let's bring it home with a round of pepper.
Well, you heard the woman. It's time for us to go home and get what I call the hell up out of here. But before we go, we're going to do a round of pepper. 3 topics, rapid fire style, kind of, sort of, not really. We're here to engage, enlighten, and entertain. And with that being said, I'll go first. All right. On this day in history, back in 1924, damn, fellas, almost 100 years ago, the Cleveland Bulldogs, formerly the Canton Bulldogs, they lose to the Frankfurt Yellow Jackets, and it ends a 31-game undefeated streak. Now, that's the longest undefeated streak in the history of NFL and Major League Football. It's a record. It hasn't been touched since. So, yeah, winners of 31 straight, and that was all things they come to an end. Streaks get snapped, but for some strange reason, can't nobody upset the Dolphins. Can't nobody just beseech them. So, will we ever see that in the future? Who knows? You never know. Over to you, Scottie D.
All right. So those of you who watched the Steelers and Lions on Sunday, you saw a comedy game in overtime in the rain. But if you rewind just a few nights prior to Heinz Field, there was another big game under the lights on ESPN in primetime, and it had a rainy, miserable, crazy finish. And I was there, boys. The Pitt Panthers tried like they tried like crazy to allow North Carolina to come back and win, but Kenny Pickett, the future Heisman Trophy winner, pulled it out in the rain. And I just want to say, man, there's just nothing like being in a college winning atmosphere. It's just something, that kind of atmosphere, the pageantry of it, the excitement was in the air. I was really glad to be part of a big time college football game on Thursday night. College football, very exciting. Be Live, over to you.
Oh, okay. I fell asleep. And then I woke up to where Scottie D was making my argument for why college football is better than pro football. I do appreciate that.
Very exciting.
He caught the bug.
He's
been just to let you know, listeners, he's been to 2 college games this year. 2 of them. How many pro games has he gone to? 0. All right, cool. Anyway.
I live in the Steelers town. That's kind of why.
He paid money to watch a college game twice.
No, right. I got these tickets free. That's why I went. I got freebies. Very, very good.
Well, okay. Well, hey.
I did.
I'll retract my statement.
Shout out to my brother-in-law. I was on the 50-yard line. It was fantastic. Check out the picture on my Facebook. But I just wanted to note how exciting college football is.
I appreciate that. I guess I'll say,
Scotty, did any ladies give you cookies like last time?
No, I did not get the cookie treatment this time, but I did get a win.
Nice.
And I got wet. It was very, very, very rainy.
Yeah.
Those are some of the most rewarding games. A little Monday night game back in 2015, something like that. Those freaking amazing. All right, I digress. All right, my first pepper point. You know how I do things with college football, because who needs an expanded playoff when you got playoff games every single week? This is going to be the first game that I'm looking forward to watching that has playoff implications that you may or may not know about. Scottie D, you mentioned it earlier in the program.
I thought they all had playoff implications.
Of course they do, but these are much bigger than the other.
Oh,
you already mentioned this one because it's going to be in the horseshoe, baby. So Sparty's going into Ohio State, and this game has everything on the line. If you win this game, you have the front row seat for the Big Ten championship, because Michigan State's already beat Michigan, so they have that tiebreaker. And if Michigan State beats Ohio State, they'll have that tiebreaker over them as well. So if Ohio State wins this one, then Michigan State is pretty much all but done. They're pretty much done when it comes to the Big Ten championship, and that is going to be who goes into the playoff. The Big Ten champion will go into the playoff unless it's Minnesota or our Wisconsin, because but it is what it is. They already got too many losses, but it is what it is. Big Ten East, win, in. Eddy Kool, the ball.
Football, and more football. All right, my second pepper point goes out to me. Well, not to me, but what I've been doing the past few months. I've been covering high school football for Keon Sports Media Group, and this is my third game covering the Avon Eagles. All right, we are in the playoffs, full swing of the playoffs, and this Friday night was the regional semifinals between the number 2 ranked Avon Eagles and the Olmsted Falls Bulldogs. All right. The Eagles are number 2 and the Bulldogs are number 6, and the Eagles win 49-21. All right. It was a pretty good game, okay, between both teams. The North Olmsted Bulldogs, you have nothing to hang your head about. You've played excellent football during the regular season and parts of the playoffs, but Avon is just a balanced team on both sides of the ball. They can beat you by the air, they can beat you on the ground, and the defense is just good. They're very good. Very, very good. All right. A few stars of the game. From the Avon Eagles, we got Jacorian Caffey. He had 15 carries for 129 yards, 2 touchdowns. Gavin Earhart, another running back, he had 9 carries for 64 yards and 2 touchdowns. You know what? He kind of reminds me of A.J. Dillon in a way, the way he was running yesterday. A.J. Dillon was running real hard.
Runs hard.
Yeah, that's who Gavin Earhart reminds me of, A.J. Dillon of the Packers. And the quarterback for the Avon Eagles, Sam DiTilio, he also had 10 carries for 79 yards, and he also had 1 touchdown on the ground as well, too. All right, and he also threw for 2 touchdowns as well. So this week, the Eagles will face Toledo Central Catholic Fighting Irish, who defeated the Highland Hornets 23-20. Will the Eagles advance? We shall see. Over to you, Scottie D.
That's this exciting time, man. College or high school football playoffs are really, really exciting. They're heating up around here too. Yeah. But getting back to the excitement of college football, you're right. I am swept up in it. And how about the excitement of the Oklahoma State TCU game? They barely squeaked by them 63-17 this past weekend. I'm not going to talk about that dumb game. But I am going to put you, sorry, B-Left. I am going to put you guys on notice, though. I've already begun to watch college basketball. And usually I don't get into it quite so early, but Coach K had his last first game of the season last week. It was Coach K's last season, and Duke beats Kentucky in that opener. And I watched a very good UCLA Villanova game on Friday night, 2-4. UCLA won that game. Crazy thing is, I fell asleep before the end of both games, but I am going to be watching more college hoops because it is underway now. And let's see, we got number one team in the country, I believe, is Gonzaga, UCLA 2, Kansas 3, Michigan 4, and Villanova with one loss at 5. That's the top 5 right now, college basketball. But yeah, baby, it's here, college hoops. Be live, over to you.
Will Gonzaga win this year?
We shall see.
No. It was theirs to win last year. No.
They can't. They had them ranked number. We'll see. I haven't gotten into it yet, but I'm gonna catch up. But it's still football. It's still football for me. I'm getting into it.
You know what? I hate to butt in, but I'm gonna be honest with you. I like UCLA.
They looked very strong in the night. Villanova looked really good, and they came back on them. Very, very good looking team.
Yeah, I like UCLA. Go ahead, B-Live.
Got you. Oh man, that sucks. I just happened to look up that North Myrtle Beach lost to Hartsville this past Friday in the playoffs, and so there's yeah. To the Chiefs, love y'all. Hey, it bees that way sometimes. Back to college football. Game number 2 with playoff implications. The playoffs are now. This is your chance. This is your chance to possibly impress the almighty B-Live. The Oregon Ducks go into number 24, Utah, the Utes. It's a 7:30 game. And according to myself, and also according to the ESPN Football Power Index, and according to Vegas, all of us have Utah favored to win. Everybody has Utah favored to win against the number 3 team in the country, according to the College Football Playoff Committee. So somebody tell me something. ESPN says Oregon's terrible. Vegas says Oregon's terrible. The almighty B-Live says Oregon is terrible. Prove us wrong. This is your only. The spread is minus.
That's crazy.
Over under is 59. ESPN has Utah favored 61.8% over Oregon. So yeah, College Football Playoff Committee, get your life. Eddy, kool. The ball.
All right. And my third and final pepper point, I'm going to just keep it real simple. Cam Newton, he's been through a lot the past year. Yes, he has. So my final pepper point is about a life lesson, okay? Cam Newton reminds us to make the most of our second chances, which means just because if you fail or stink up something one time, 8 times out of 10, you might get a second chance. And when you get that second chance, you got to make the most of it. And that's all I got to say about that. Over to you, Scottie D. That's right.
All right, so I'm going to end my final thoughts of the week on my favorite basketball player of all time, my favorite athlete of all time, and I cannot even believe that this has been 30 years. But last week was the 30-year anniversary of Magic Johnson declaring that he was HIV positive. I'll never forget it because I was in college at the time, and this happened. I'm not even sure if the season had quite gotten underway. Maybe it had been a few games in, but Magic had not been playing, and it was reported as because he had the flu. And I came to my dorm room, and there were a couple guys that were saying, "Hey, your boy Magic just retired. He's got AIDS." I said, "No, Magic has the flu. I already know all about this." I said, "Might want to look at the TV here." And sure enough, there's ESPN reporting on Magic Johnson retiring from the Lakers. I could not believe it. I sat in stunned silence the rest of the night. And at that point, we did not know the full extent of what HIV and AIDS, how this was going to come to be for Magic. We thought it was basically a death sentence, and here we are 30 years later, and Magic Johnson is still very much a fixture in the business world, in the sports world, and he's done a lot for his community out there in LA. And I still love Magic Johnson, and I'm glad he's around, still thriving 30 years later after that, because he ended up being such a positive influence when it came to people that contracted that virus, that it showed that it was not a death sentence. And Magic Johnson was the leading the way when it came to battling that. So 30 years, boys, hard to believe that since I've seen or since I saw that site on my TV back in college. But man, Magic Johnson, still my boy. Over to you, B-Live.
Magic, he got the cure.
He got it. He got the money. He got the money. He got the cure. He got it. He got it.
But nah, real talk, that was very devastating. I still have Magic Johnson's 1992 Dream Team basketball card. I'm trying to sell it. I need money. I actually got a collection. It should be worth something. Hit your boy up. sportsbrospcast@gmail.com. I've got the entire East. I've got Michael Jordan's 92 card, his Dream Team card, his All-Star card, and his team card from 92.
That would make a great birthday gift for someone next week, maybe. Or or Christmas coming up.
Yeah, okay. Anyway.
Magic Johnson stocking stuffers. Go ahead and say your last little silly thing about football, and then
you already know what time it is. This is my third and final pepper point. My number 3 game that I'm watching that has playoff implications. I'm not even gonna lie to you. No, it does not. This one actually does not have playoff implications, but it has implications of my own heart, because you know what? So you're saying they still have a chance. This game right here is a big one in the ACC. It is Wake Forest. The Demon Deacons travel to Clemson, South Carolina. Reason why this game is significant is because there's a lot of things that are still on the line. Clemson has 6 straight ACC championships, 6 straight, and it's very much in jeopardy because of their early losses to North Carolina State, and then another team. And then they also lost to Georgia at the beginning of the season. But some things can happen. If Clemson beats Wake Forest, if NC State loses a game either to Syracuse or North Carolina, and if Wake Forest also loses to Boston College, then Clemson goes to the ACC championship. There is still a chance. So Clemson, do your job this coming week against Wake Forest. Do your job. Do something on offense, please. And then I'll be rooting for Syracuse, North Carolina, and Boston College. Hey, anything can happen. All in, bleed orange, all roads lead to Dabo. This be your boy, the Almighty be live. Yes, sir. God, can it happen? Can it happen?
What do you think, Scottie D? Can it happen?
I'm going to be watching Pitt in Virginia. All my roads right now are leading to Heinz Field and the ACC championship for the Pitt Panthers. That's where my roads are leading.
I would love to have a rematch, because the same thing happened last year where we lost to Notre Dame and we had a rematch against them in the ACC championship. I would love to have a rematch against Pitt in the
Trevor
ACC
Lawrence ain't walking through that door, pal.
I don't give that. Give me one more chance.
DJ Ukulele.
Oh man, what a redeemer it would be if Clemson were to make it into the ACC championship and to beat Pitt. All this crow that Scottie D has made me eat over these past few weeks.
I've not made you eat any crow.
Sweet Caroline.
You know the words. Very good. You picked up on it.
He's saying, oh, man.
Let me just change the subject real quick before we go here. Because last week I went on a mini rant about Rodger Goodell and fining Aaron Rodgers for breaking the protocol. He fined him, all right. He fined him $14,650, which would be like fining me $3. So good job, Rodger Goodell, on that one. The guy thumbed his nose at your rules, and you're intimidated by Aaron Rodgers because you think he's going to host Jeopardy someday. Bad move, Rodger Goodell. To you. Eddie Kool, take me home.
Who was it? I made a note of it. I can't remember it off the top of my head. A player just got fined $15,000 because his shirt wasn't tucked in.
CeeDee Lamb.
Yeah.
He's been fined like $68,000 this year for socks and towels and shirts being untucked.
Okay, I want to make sure because second offense of not having your jersey tucked is worse than violating a pandemic protocol.
Yes.
And potentially endangering people's lives.
Rodger Goodell's a heel. He's the biggest heel since Rowdy Roddy Piper.
How is a jersey not being tucked in more dangerous than possibly spreading COVID-19?
Wrong color socks, wrong color
Somebody shoes. Make it make sense.
Rodger Goodell's in my penalty box. He has been since the first show. Eddie Kool, take me home.
Well, I was going to ask the question if you guys had anything to say, but, here we go. And then in closing, do something nice for yourself. And if you can, do something nice for someone else. They'll appreciate it now more than ever. Holidays coming up. Be safe. Love each other. Take care. Eat some turkey. Be cool. Go Panthers. Scottie D's doing TikTok dances. Y'all take care. There's been another episode of the Sports Bros Podcast. See, I'm not going to try to get out of the chair this time because I'm not going to hit my head on stuff. Be loud.
Yes, sir.
There we go. See you next week. Goodbye.